Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today have I got an exciting video for you, man. I am really super excited about this. You know, I sometimes I try to hide my excitement, but today it's just really difficult. This is a video for you if you travel in a car, if you travel in a truck, if you travel on a Spyder pulling a trailer. Anytime you're that person who travels, this is a video for you. And the reason is because we get to those places, right? And it's like, man, I wish I could run down to the store. It's a half-mile away. I'm gonna walk. It's hot, it's pouring down rain, and I need something I can just hop on and ride it on down there, not have to suit up, put my helmet on, put all my gloves and all my business on, and still have a good time while doing it. So I've got the perfect solution for you. And here it is. All right, strap in, hang on, get your coffee. All right, now welcome back. Let's get it. Ooh, hi boy, electric scooter. So this is something that weighs in that 35-pound category. I have not taken it out of the box, but I'm super excited about it. You guys know that every time I see a scooter of any kind, I have to yell, scooter! So you have to do the same. Let's get this thing unboxed and check it out and see what it is. All right, if y'all hear a bunch of noise in the background, that's Coach Vic trying to get out of bed after her afternoon nap. But we're gonna open this thing up, and what I'm gonna be using to open it, if you don't know, if you may not have one of these, is a Microtech knife. Super nice. You need one if you don't have one, gentlemen. Buy once, try once. It's razor sharp and gets the job done. And here's the cool thing, check it out. Boom. Oh, let's see what it looks like in here. Okay, looks mostly assembled. Let's get this baby out the box. Holy cow. All right, so here is the high boy in all of its splendor. Man, this thing is awesome. It is absolutely awesome looking. It is gonna be a beast. So what I did is I just simply put the kickstand out. I got it standing up. This is all kind of pre-assembled, and this right here is the only thing that has to go together. What you're looking at, this is the stem that just slides into the handlebars. You have holes here and on the other side. They provide you with the 4 screws to put it together. They also provide an Allen wrench, but I'm gonna use my little handy dandy multi-tool. All right, so let's get this thing put together. You're just gonna wanna tuck the wires up in there. Make sure you got your handlebars on forwards because you don't want them backwards. You're not going backwards. Try not to crimp your wires any more than you got to. So here we go. Boom. All right, so you can see you got 2 threaded holes right there just on the other side of those handlebars. We're gonna put those screws in right now. Now remember, when you're putting screws in like this, you don't wanna force them in there because you will strip them. I promise you, you will. The threads pull it in, getting them lined up. So now that I have these 2 started, all I'm gonna do is stand this thing up just like this. And you can see right here, there's just a little clip right here. You press that real hard, boom, locks it in. Now I can utilize the kickstand and that being locked in place while I get the last 2 screws started. So nothing to it, huh? Screw 4 started. Now we'll just take this little handy dandy tool here, tighten them up. Nothing to it, huh? This really could not be any more simple to assemble than anything. I mean, this is just like super crazy at how easy it is to do. I'm literally holding a camera in one hand and putting it together with my other hand. And the truth is, I'm left-handed, and the camera's in my left hand. So that ought to tell you how easy it is. And last but not least, number 4. So mechanically, this thing is ready to go now. The 4 screws are put in, and this piece right here is locked in. In order to unlock that, you simply lift this and pull. Look at that, just like that. And that will fold down. There is a small hook here, and you simply place that hook into that right there. And you can carry it around, that's it. Doing all this with one hand, so simply unhook it, stand it up, clamp it in. Here's the dashboard, you simply turn it on. There it is. All right, so you're ready to ride. Let's talk about it. All right, so the high boy scooters, man, I'm gonna tell you, I've had this thing for a couple of months now, so I'm not just speaking off the cuff. I've been riding this thing, and man, has it been fun. It's way more than I expected it to be. I'm just gonna be quite honest with you. You know,
I ride it. My children ride it. When I say my children are adults. I have a son that's 30, a daughter that's 28, and another daughter that's 22. All of them are married. They ride it. Their spouses ride it. We love this thing. The only complaint is that we don't have more of them. I mean, they're like, buy me one for Christmas, Dad. I mean, that's where all of them are. This thing has been so much fun and so much more than I ever thought it was going to be. So I want you to listen to some of the features this thing has. We have the S2 Pro. There's also the S2. I believe the S2 is going to be more than adequate for 99.9% of the population. The S2 Pro, for someone like me, you know, I weigh over 200 pounds now, sadly. I do. And so I wanted a little more juice, even though I don't think I needed it. I also wanted the bigger tire because a lot of the roads around here that I ride on, we'll say that they're less than accommodating. So that bigger tire allows you to roll over a more rugged surface, we'll say. But let's do a little comparison, but I'll drop some visual aids up here as well as I'm talking. All right, so here we go. All right, so the S2 Pro has a top speed of 19 miles an hour. The S2 also has a top speed of 19 miles an hour. The S2 Pro has a 25-mile range. The S2 has a 17-mile range. Now, I prefer having that longer range because that means that that time in between charges is a little longer. And, you know, to the point of, say, 25% more battery life, for me, that's a lot. And we play on this thing a lot. So that extra battery life, I've grown to really appreciate. Now, one of the things that you'll find that the S2 Pro has is it has that 10-inch wheel as opposed to the standard S2 with an 8.5-inch wheel. They're not pneumatic tires. In other words, they're like a blown rubber tire and you can't puncture them, which I can tell you, if you could puncture them, I would have punctured them already because I've certainly ridden this thing in conditions probably not suggested by the manufacturer, and it has more than stood up to all of the abuse that I've put it through. Both of these have an emergency brake system and a standard disc brake system. The battery will charge using one of the brakes on the S2 Pro. As you're rolling down a hill, you can touch it and it allows that battery to recharge as you're rolling down the hill. Does the S2 do that? I don't know. I know the S2 Pro does do that. Another upgrade the S2 Pro gets, it has a heavier rear suspension, dual shock absorbers as opposed to a single shock absorber. The single shock absorber is adequate, but man, that dual suspension, man, it is top notch and adjustable, and I really, really like it. Also, the S2 and the S2 Pro both have cruise control, which is really cool. So if you're riding along 10 miles an hour, boom, you set it, you're just riding, man. It's awesome. They both have an LED headlight. They both have a strip of LED lighting that runs along the bottom side of the scooter. And they both have a tail light that also serves as a brake light. Yeah, so when you're hitting that brake, the brake light turns on, so if you got a car behind you, they know you're stopping. Very, very cool. The battery on the S2 is a 7.5 amp, and the one on the S2 Pro is an 11.6 amp. So significant difference in the battery, and that is what gives you that extra battery life and allows you to ride with a little more weight on the machine. They both have 2 speeds, and you can use the app on your phone to adjust everything if you so desire. It also has a parking brake, both of them do, that you can set on your app that locks it to where it can't roll away. So someone would have to pick it up in the event that they were going to steal it. So the S2 Pro has a 500 watt motor, and it's plenty. Will it do 19? Yes, it does 19 miles an hour with me on it on a flat surface that is smooth. If I'm going on downhill surfaces like in my neighborhood, I've gotten it up to 23 miles an hour. Going uphill, like super steep uphills with my weight, it'll drop down to that 13, 14 miles an hour. And we know that because we do time trials. With my daughter who weighs, 70 pounds less than me, she's doing 16, 17 miles an hour up those hills. So body weight does have a lot to do. The old gravitational force is something that, you can't fight with. It just is. But that 25-mile range at 19 miles per hour is really nice and a lot of power. It does everything you need it to do. Again, it has a red brake on the handlebar that when you depress it gently, because it also is a brake. If you depress it gently, it will regenerate the battery as you're going downhill, and it will show you that it's charging on your dashboard. The cruise control works perfectly, and the lights are highly, highly visible. And ask me how I know, because we ride in neighborhoods where there's a lot of cars. Now on their website, you'll see that they show, you know, your height disparity between 5 feet tall and 5 foot 9 inches tall. I'm 6'2", my son is 6'4", my daughter is 5'4", and so we have people that are taller than that spectrum, and we've had some neighborhood kids that are shorter than 5 feet tall ride it, and it has done wonderfully. I'm not telling you to work outside the box, because I wouldn't want you to sue me and go, well, I was 6'1" and I rode it and I got hurt, and they said if I'm over 5'9", but I'm telling you, I've ridden it over 6'2", and I didn't have a problem. So you do that at your own risk. The deck length on both of the devices are both 17.7 inches long, which is more than enough room for my big old size 12 slant 13 foot boats that I've got on the bottom of these legs. The deck width is 6.1 inches, which is plenty wide. The overall length just over 45 inches, and the overall height just over 47. It's Johnny on the spot. Works perfectly. Of course, the S2 Pro weighs a little more due to the bigger battery. It weighs 37.4 pounds, and the S2 weighs 31.7 pounds. So not a significant weight difference, but enough if you're hauling it around, you may feel that difference. The max load on both of them is showing 220 pounds. I can attest that it will, in fact, carry 220 pounds. It will do it. The recommended age is 16 to 60, which means that I'm over the recommended age. So you elderly guys, ride at your own risk. You know, you could break a hip on this thing. And for folks younger than 16, be careful if you're going to get on it. You know, we have some people in my family that will just say, we're not all as smart as everybody else. We just ride and have a good time. So let's talk about charging the battery. Charging the battery, if you fully deplete it or get it down to that super low area, 4 to 6 hours. You don't want to overcharge it. You don't want to deplete the battery completely. You can read an owner's manual. Anyone who uses lithium-ion battery-powered tools, you know you don't run it till it's completely dead. It's bad for the battery, and you don't overfeed the baby, so to speak. So you want to make sure you use some common sense and good judgment. It charges very, very efficiently, and it's not a problem. When you plug it in, it's red. When it's fully charged, it turns green, and there you have it. It's charged. So I'm going to be playing some video. I'm going to share some things that we do with my children and my in-law children, which I still call my children.
Whatever, I got the Marquez lean.
So what do you think of the Highboy scooter there, David?
It has enough power to get you where you need to go and have fun while doing it. It's a heck of a lot of fun. It's got a lot of grip. So you feel confident on the road. It can get you up those big hills and get you down those big hills pretty quickly. It's just a great product.
Awesome. So what do you think about the scooter? The scooter!
I think the scooter is so much fun. It's so fast and awesome, and I just love it. I wish I could ride it everywhere.
There you go. There you go. So we've been having time trials with the family. So she goes, and then David goes, and then I go. We see who can go the fastest. And by the way, Sarah is the fastest of the three. Oh, she might get it. Time. 1:49.03. David, you got her, man. So what were you saying about Highboy?
You need to have them send like 4 more, and then we need to do a full-on MotoGP style where we run like you have qualifier laps, and then we have the placement style, and then do one on all 4.
And do like a 12 lap race?
Right, exactly. Then you crash out, then we see how good it is when you come back up, you know?
Well, we'll have the gravel traps. We'll put gravel traps in.
And then
Oh, here she comes.
Here she goes. Here she comes.
Look at her, she's flying. All the way through the finish line.
That chair fell, or the table.
Where's the speed?
Okay, David on the high speed turn. Oh, that looked pretty good. That looked pretty good. We're gonna have a hard time topping that one. All right, timekeeper, get ready to go. We're running. Can Robert have as good a start? Oh, he's got the foot out. He's got the foot out for the counterbalance. He's gonna make the turn. Oh, he barely made it. Hit the brakes. He had to hit the brakes.
Long driveway, Tom.
It's a long driveway. Oh, he ran off in the grass. He ran off in the grass. Go, go, go. What time? Count it, Vic. Count it.
You going? Give it the bead.
Time. All right, now we have Sarah. She's getting ready to go. You can turn the headlights on if you want to, Sarah. Turn the lights on. All right, we're ready for Sarah. She's running with lights. Oh, good stuff. You braked. You braked. Ah, you made it. You made it. Keep going. Go, go, go. Don't slow down. Don't slow down.
A couple seconds.
239, like 1 second. He was a 238.07. She was a 239. Yeah, 1 second.
Slow down so much over there.
I had to go over it slower when it.
All right, Chelsea.
If I wouldn't have
There's a lot of pressure on you. What do you think?
Ready to lose.
you almost did.
I am getting ready to lose.
Oh, you're gonna be fast. You're gonna be the fastest of all of them. I'm gonna have to get out here and direct traffic for her so she could go faster. 1 second separated David and Sarah, and that's well over half mile. We didn't measure it, but probably 3/4 of a mile. So yeah, 1 second. As you can see, the high boy is a lot of fun. We are having a blast with this thing. Everywhere I go, my family's just going nuts about this thing. My son and daughter-in-law saw it for the first time today, and they are just stoked. All right, here we go. All right, Chelsea, we're ready. Go, pin it, go! So what we like to do, and we will go around the block, and we have time trials. So we're timing each other. A lot of it is going to have to do with weight, obviously. The more flat your course, then, you know, your weight won't have as much potential disasters as mine does going up a hill. When we were in Vidalia, Georgia, which is where my son lives, they have a neighborhood that has a pretty flat course with a downhill section with some S-turns. So a lot of that course has to do with, we'll just say, having intestinal fortitude and or bravery to see who can go around the block the fastest. It's funny, my daughter-in-law, my son's wife, Chelsea, hey Chelsea, when she rides, she looks like a 10-year-old kid on this thing. She's whee, you know, and going nice and slow. My son-in-law, David, he's a beast. He is a skateboard guy, and when he gets on this thing, he's wide open. He's hard to beat. My son, likewise, because of his height, they were practicing with, sticking their leg out to counterbalance through turns, squatting down low, leaning the scooter one direction, the body the other. So I know what you're saying. You're saying, Coach, that really looks like a lot of fun, and it is. Also, when I went to Deadwood, South Dakota, I took that thing and I rode all over Deadwood. So here's some video of me riding all over Deadwood, South Dakota. Obviously in South Dakota, it's hilly, somewhat mountainous, right? It did very, very well. They also had cobblestone streets and some very, very rough sidewalk material with big potholes and stuff in it. It did great in all of that, and I had a blast riding on it. All right, so I'm in Deadwood, South Dakota, and I'm out on the high boy, and we're gonna go cruise around, look downtown, see what's up. We're gonna cruise downtown, see what's up. All right, so it's 90 degrees out, and I was a mile from downtown, and I just flew right down here on this thing. If you're out and about traveling, it's hot, and you just want to go from point A to point B, this thing is a blessing, man. You gotta have one of these. Yes, it is negotiating the hills in Deadwood, South Dakota, and it's handling the cobblestones just as well. Probably shake the camera up quite a bit, but the scooter's doing great. Deadwood, South Dakota is just beautiful. All right, so you see this little clip here? That's what holds this down so that you can carry the scooter around with you. If you go in and out of places you don't want it to get stolen. You can also run a little cable lock around this, around through the tire and through the swing arm there. Anyway, just unhooks right here. I'm doing this with one hand, and you just lift as you pull that back. Boom, there it is. And again, this just folds forward and locks right in. Just like that.
Everyone knew, there goes Coach Bob, there goes Coach Bob, there goes Coach Bob. I even wrote it in the casino lobby because my hotel was upstairs from the casino. So you have to go through the casino to get to your hotel room. So everyone knew me. I would go get my hamburger and I'd be riding it across the casino to get my hamburger. I love this thing. It has been great. So it's way more than just transportation. And if you are young at heart or you're just young, this thing is so worth it. You just won't believe the fun that you're going to have. I got it without the intent or the mindset of having a good time on it. I got it more for a utilitarian nature, just to get from point A to point B when I was traveling, or maybe in the neighborhood when I was going to go to an HOA meeting or go to a neighbor's house that was a half mile away and it was hot and I just didn't feel like getting in the car or walking, that I could just hop on the scooter and buzz right down the road. So you're saying, well, what have I got to do to get one of these things and how much do they cost? Well, you can go to hiboy.com. That's HIBOY, hiboy.com, and pick you up one of these things. They were quick with the shipping. It came neat and tidy in the box. Be careful pulling it out of the box. It's heavy. Make sure you knock all four sides of that box down so that you can lift it out of there efficiently without hurting yourself. You don't want to cut yourself on a metal edge, and you don't want to drop the weight and hurt yourself. So just be careful. This thing weighs over 30 pounds, so if you're curling with a 30-pound dumbbell, you know what 30 pounds feels like. Make sure you're careful. Just don't hurt yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, they got some super deals going on, almost half price on the S2 Pro and half price on the S2. So there's some really good deals to be had right now. Also, let's talk about, I'm going to show you another thing on the scooter right now. There's a slot on the footboard that you can fold up and you can drop a seat post in it. So if you're commuting and you're doing things, you can actually put a seat on this thing and sit down and ride. And they have water bottle mounts, they have phone mounts. All of the accessories that you would think that you might need, they're available for it. So they're also on the website. So do you need one? I think you do. I know I did. In fact, hi boy, if you're watching this video, if you just get a wild hair, you can send me 3 more. One for my son, one for my daughter, and one for my other daughter. And that way, when we race, we won't have to do a time trial. We can actually start up. We'll do a time trial to see who gets pole position, and then we will race it out for the big trophy. All right. Well, there you have it. Another one in the books. So I want you to do me a favor until next time. Go out, buy the scooter of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are most definitely doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I'll see you on the road real soon, and who knows, you may see an old man on a scooter.